Hi, Gemini. It's Denise with Divine Soul Astrology, and today we are here to discuss the new moon in Taurus. And it's kind of an exciting time when we have something new. And Geminis like new things. They're a mutable sign. Yes, they are. And so, Gemini, that is the new moon is at 1:01 p.m. here in California, and that's 8:01 Universal Time. So please check for wherever you are. Now, what is Taurus concerned with, or what is it about? It's concerned with resources, money, possessions, financial stability, also well-being and self-worth, because Venus is the ruler and Venus is about love. It is. And so we have also Taurus is about perseverance. Remember, we think of the bull and the determination with the bull, and also nature and food. Yes, so that's what we have, and we have the new moon for you is in your 12th house of endings and release. So I have the chart up here. Yes, I do, and here is the moon, the sun, and they are conjoined with your natal Mercury. So yeah, and so there's something you're letting go of here, and you know that you should because Mercury is ruling, the intelligence. You know you should, and Mercury is almost at the last degree. It's at 28 degrees. So this is saying, come on, hurry up and let's plant these new seeds. And Mercury will move into your sign just a couple days later. When does Mercury actually? On the 17th, the next day, it is going to enter your sign. Whoops. So it'll be very strong there. And then of course um we will have the sun will move into your sign on the 20th. So big themes here, right? For sure. Now, um, and I feel like when the sun, not when the sun, but when Mercury actually enters uh into your sign, then the focus for you can be like new ideas, right? Because that's what you represent. Gemini represents the cerebral, the ideas, the plans, the goals, the skills, the willpower, the learning, the communication, all that. So it will be moving into your first house, your first very cerebral house, right? Now Uranus is there too, so Uranus is bringing you change. We can see it here on if you are, able to look at the chart. Uranus is wanting to bring us change, so that's exactly what's going on here for you. Um, and so let's see what else I have here. Mercury is aligned with Uranus, and Uranus can add a spiritual dimension to whatever those ideas are about, right? It can bring inventive ideas, and I have a whole separate video on that, on Uranus entering your sign for you, Gemini. You can go check that out. And Venus, let's see though. I want to see where Mercury is, where else. Mercury, excuse me, you guys. Mercury is ruling your fourth house of home and family, but this is your fourth house of emotional foundation. Yeah, it is. So let's see what Mercury is doing before we kind of talk about Venus, right? Yeah. And so Mercury here is making this square to the south node in that fourth house. There's something that basically, yeah, it's making the square there to the south node. And there's something about, your emotions or your foundation, something that you need to support you, or maybe your perspective on what supports you is changing. Yeah, I feel like that is what's going on here, especially as Uranus will move into your sign, because we see that square here. The south node is what we want to move away from. It can be associated with lack. So, and that is in your house of emotional foundation. So, yeah, you are, and that is asking you to make an adjustment, Gemini. And I feel like that's what you are doing in this, as part of the new moon, right? And also we have Mercury making that trine to Pluto. We can't forget that because this is in your ninth house of higher purpose, growth and expansion. So, right, and so there's Pluto, and Pluto is death and rebirth. So we have a huge change here for you. You could be doing things much different they may have to do with, finances or your ideas, your business, right? And so now we have Yes, exactly. And here we have the also the opposition for Mercury to the sixth house. the sixth house of work, health, and obstacles. So that is also asking you to make some type of an adjustment there, all right? And Venus is the ruler of the new moon, and Venus is actually in your sign. It will be moving into Cancer on the 18th. And so just few days after the new moon. And so we have here, once Venus moves into Cancer, this will be in your second house of well-being and finances. Venus will support you there. Venus feels very happy to be in Cancer. You maybe, this can be about family nurturing you as well, but Venus is the ruler of the new moon, and it will be in your second house, which is associated with the new moon, because that is the second house of finances and resources and well-being. All right. This is also about your values. All right. There's something different about your values. It's changing. Yeah. As we see the trine um, from Mercury to Pluto in your ninth house of purpose. You don't believe the same way, or your values are changing there. Your philosophy can be changing. All right. And now we have Venus rules your fifth house, right? Venus is important. Going back and forth a little bit with Venus and Mercury, because Mercury is very important here in Venus ruled Taurus. And also, the ruler of the new moon is Venus. So Venus is ruling your fifth house of self-expression and, creative pursuits. This is the house where you are authentic about your talents, authentic about who you are and how you shine. And so Venus is ruling that house. There's likely something going on here with your creative self-expression, or, and things like that. All right. That's also the house of fun, love, and sex and children, just to name a few, and hobbies. Yeah. All right. So let's see what Venus is doing here. Venus is making a square. Let's look at Venus right here and making a square here. If first of all, it's making a very nice sextile, and that is to Mars, which is ruling your 11th house of future aspirations. So there's an opportunity here for you to kind of create something new for yourself. Um, yeah, if you take action, Mars wants you to act, right? And Venus is saying, I'm supporting you. I'm supporting this, right? I'm supporting this thing that you want to do here, right? In your own sign. And here it is making a square as well to Vesta and Neptune. There's something healing as well, that may have been holding you back regarding your future aspirations, or maybe, your social connections, because this 11th house for you is about social groups and progress. It is. And so here we have Chiron is here in a perfect conjunction, also being sextile by Venus. All right. Venus makes the square here to Neptune and Vesta. It's really saying, some type of adjustment needs to be made here in order for you to create your own inner harmony. And it may have to do with quietly devoting yourself to something, because Vesta is associated with that, right? Neptune is there as part of the square. Neptune, it wants us to believe in our dreams, but we have to be careful sometimes, because it gets very dreamy, and then sometimes it can, kind of draw illusions or in doubt and things like that. So don't doubt anything, Gemini, and there's no reason for you to do, because you are moving into Gemini season, and the sun will shine on you during your birthday season. All right. So thank you so much for joining me here, Gemini. If you'd like a reading with me, check out the description box. All kind of great readings. I'm also a psychic. I did many, many psychic readings over on my tarot channel. Everything is listed below in the description box. And please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell so you can be notified of my next upload. Thanks so much, Gemini, for joining me here.